You are now listening to Rings Kings Boxing World Flash Report.
All right, shout out to the fam. Big Q in here representing Ring Kings Boxing World. News that packs a punch. And speaking of punch, how about this one, man? This is coming up this weekend. It is fight week for Pitbull Cruz and Lamont the Reaper Roach. Now, these are two fighters that, that you can really talk about that had fights with Tank Davis that almost, I ain't gonna say almost beat him, but Pitbull Cruz stepped in there, was a lot tougher opponent than he thought, that he realized. I think in that one, Tank busted his hand. He was fighting one-handed against Pitbull Cruz, and the Lamont Roach was by far, I thought he lost that fight against Lamont Roach. Very close, but nonetheless, these are the two fighters that, in my opinion, gave Tank Davis his most toughest fights, and now they're fighting each other. So this will be interesting. Pitbull Cruz 28-3-1 versus Lamont the Reaper Roach 25-1-2. This is going to be an interesting fight of styles. As you see, Pitbull 5'4", coming into this thing at 134 and a half or 134 and a quarter, and you're looking at a taller fighter, a bigger fighter, according to Pitbull, and Lamont Roach, who's 5'7", at 135 flat. There are reports that saying that they had an early wait just to safely see how these guys are doing, and Lamont was over, but there's no penalty for that. But when they get further or closer to the fight, when they weighed in, Lamont Roach is going to come in on time with his weight, so there's nothing to really be concerned about as far as that is concerned. So that's the tail of the tape right there between these two fighters. Lamont's a little older than Pitbull Cruz. And this is going to be an interesting style of fights between both of these fighters, man, to see how things attribute. But in the end, it's just a 12-round fight. And can Lamont Roach get the best right here? It's going to be fun watching these two fighters. Now, the WBC reported that both boxers met the 14-day pre-weight requirement in terms of what happened. We talked about Roach being slightly over by a pound, just over a pound and a little bit. But the next check will come this weekend with Cruz, and Roach will win and no more than 3% above the 140-pound limit, which will be rounded up to 145. Both are, of course, then required to weigh at 140 pounds or less at next Friday's weigh-in ahead of the PBC on Prime Video pay-per-view headliner from Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas. Now, the forthcoming 12-round secondary title fight will make Roach's debut at that weight, and it just came 9 months after he moved from 130 to challenge the WBA lightweight titles, gervonta Tank Davis. Roach officially weighed 135, more than a pound heavier than Davis, who's 30-0-1 with 28 knockouts. He weighed 133.8 pounds on the eve of that fight on March the 1st when they fought in Brooklyn, New York. Now, Davis' campaign at lightweight is off since 2019, while Roach fought at 130 for more than 10 years prior to moving up. So he's 30 years old from Washington. He's still delivering a good performance against Tank that was really good in the majority draw. Roach enjoyed a 1.5-inch height advantage over Tank. He will carry greater physical edge in height over Pitbull Cruz, a former lightweight contender who's entering his 5th consecutive fight at that junior welterweight level. Now, Cruz debuted at the weight, came in at the 8th round, a knockout of Rolly Romero to win the WBA 140-pound title last March at T-Mobile Arena. He lost the belt to Jose Venezuela in his first title defense on August the 3rd in LA. Now, the two wins have followed for Cruz entering this bout. He earned a 10-round unanimous decision over countryman Angel Ferrero in February 1st, and then Scorcher at T-Mobile. That was a pretty good fight. Then 5 months ago, his most recent outing, Cruz, he outpointed late substitute fill-in Omar Salcedo to win that WBC interim belt on July the 19th at the MGM. Now, Roach has not fought since his battle with Davis. The two were on course to meet again back on August the 16th. It fell apart, but Davis declined to move forward and never formally announced the event. Now, the reality is that Tank Davis moved on, but he wanted to fight Jake Paul, which fell apart because of domestic charges that then hit Tank Davis as well. And then Jake Paul then reneged and literally threw out insults and kind of zinged Gervonta Tank Davis and kind of criticized him on that kind of stuff before he set up a bout with AJ Joshua, that is due. We got a report on that as well. So what it means is with these two rock'em sock'em fighters going at it, Pitbull Cruz, never stopping style, always chasing you down. Lamont Roach also is a slick boxer. This is going to be a talented fight between these two fighters, man. And I think this is really cool. Plus, they got a nice undercard that these guys will have too, man. It's a pretty good undercard that will be happening in this fight as well, that we'll get an opportunity to see in action. So in the end, I think it's a good fight to have to watch this upcoming weekend, to get back to having some serious boxing matches. I think it's good to see Lamont Roach back in action, man, and handling this business as well. So how do you guys think this will land? How do you guys think this will land this weekend with Pitbull Cruz and Lamont the Reaper Roach? How do you guys see this playing out? How do you see it playing out? Who do you think will win the fight? Will it be one of these situations where the fight goes 12 rounds and it'll go to the cards to decide who wins the fight? And I can see that happen. I don't think Pitbull Cruz knocks out Lamont Roach, and I don't think Roach knocks out Pitbull Cruz. I think this will be one of the fights that go the distance, so whoever is more active should win this fight on cards, but it's going to be a really good fight going forward. So anyway, with that being said, that's all I got with this one. Y'all tell me, who do you have in this fight? Do you think Pitbull Cruz gets it or Lamont Roach? Y'all put it in the comment section and let me know what you guys feel about this. I'm Big Q, Ring Kings Boxing News that packs a punch, man. I'm going to holler at you on the next one. Much love. Peace.
Subscribe now and make Ring Kings Boxing your source for all the latest fight news.